continues to fight them.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. You thought we were gone, but we are not. Alas, we continue deep into the series that is Rhythm taking on Bliss. Dev, it's been a hot minute, but we're ready and in the game.
You can kick us down, but you certainly can't keep us out of the game. OCN. The show goes on for Rhythm. They, off camera, tied up the scoreline 5-5 with a successful gym and bedroom defense. And since it's been 2 rounds since they won CCTV cash, they go back there. After a great performance from Drex on that Rafters hold last time around, Rhythm give it another crack. And Bliss are once again on this back foot. They've had such a strong performance. They really should take this, and if they do, Rob, they take first place in the OCN standings. Unbelievable to think that Bliss of all teams would be there. Not Knights, not Order, not Wildcard, or even Elevate. But Rhythm stands in their way.
For now. How long can they weather this storm? How long are they going to be able to hold on for? Right now, all the thermite being brought out, that's a little bit different to what we've seen thus far. Generally, it's been the Ace and the Hibana, so maybe pew pew, boom boom, and things will open up a little bit quicker. What was that?
One big hole coming up.
Doesn't sound right.
Nah, there's a word missing, but I decided to omit that one. You know, it's a late night, but it's not quite late enough to warrant that just yet. Shade ready here, but Repix is actually downstairs. Hello. See you later, Novaix. Great grenade there coming through from Naz, and here it is. Drex looking for this bandit trick. Repix, though, below. Countering that quite effectively. Drex is going to give it a crack, but he gets the wrong wall.
Oh.
Wait a second, Shade! Shade, no, you fluffed it up.
Yeah.
It's got to be just on the left panel, but it was touching both panels.
Yeah.
And so even the electrification on the left side destroyed that thermite charge. Repix has to hold on. Drex dancing with death, but he's not going to get it the second time in a row.
So, an interesting turn of events. At least the wall's open. It's taken them an extra 30 seconds, so that time will surely come to haunt them toward the end of this round. With only a minute and 10 seconds left on the board, they need to establish some sort of presence across into Garage, which Leb is currently sitting at. And this is not a position you want to see Leb in. He will absolutely demolish you, given the opportunities there. And in come the flashes, and out goes Leb.
Oh, I'll see you later. 2 for 2. Nazgul on his grenade throws. Gone back into this match on fire, and Rhythm put firmly on that back foot. Bliss could well turn the tide here, take match point, and get one step closer to the first place on the standings. Oda and Nazgul together to take Garage. Nazgul's been hot on form here, but time is dwindling.
It
and
is.
Bliss need to not let this one slip.
That's it. They've also got 2 C4s and 2 smoke babes left. Make that 1 C4. Oh, and Oda just catches that like a game of baseball. Supremacist, that's gnarly. Cool now to try and stop this top red push. Luckily enough, the proximity alarm warns them to the positioning. They can't stop the plant. There's a crossfire out on the balcony, and that should pretty much have the nail in the coffin, which it does. Shade to pick up the 2K to finish on, and Bliss, they're on that point.
Potentially 1 round away from taking first place on the Oceanic Nationals ladder. OCN will never be the same. Bliss on top. Imagine it. All the way up from relegations, from really a mediocre performance in OCN last season, ending second last on the standings. Bliss has rocketed upwards and could well take it to the very top teams here, 1 round away from it.
And it goes to basement to decide, Dev. Seen to varying degrees of success. So far, Bliss has won every attack and defense actually in church. So it seems like this is Bliss's site. They defended it successfully twice and have won it successfully twice. So
Yeah.
the stats are not favoring Rhythm at all here. And that 3 points is on the line for Bliss.
Very much so. If anything, I would have said Rhythm was favored for that CCTV defense, and we saw how dominantly Bliss took that. Nazgul in particular, those two opening nades to clean out Garage was so good. And for Rhythm now, they're actually changing tack once again, going for this heavy roam. We saw this in the first round of their defense half, and look, it just did not work out for them. So on their second attempts, they went for a more anchor-centric strategy. They're leaning back into that loose roam again, no fakes. Cheeky little one under the window. I feel like this loose playstyle is a good idea for Rhythm. It's on Blitz to punish.
It sounds like Garage. Not Garage, sorry. Kennel's being open. Supremacist decides to back on out, and you'd have to say the right decision there. Showed face for long enough, and now is well and truly backed away. No fakes, is still over on main stairs. No, no, they waited. He waited for so long, and Nazgul was in the open arms. That is what we call debated.
Excellent read there, and still is Rhythm players loosely roaming around. Looks like they may well retreat all the way down. Nazgul has been a highlight player here for Bliss. Not quite the epic show that we had expected going in, but Nazgul's held his own in the past as well. Top of the table when it came to that relegations, MVP of the whole affair, and certainly had his decent share of impact in this game thus far, but he's shut down, and Rhythm not in a terrible position to take this to overtime, if I'm honest.
Hey, Perch 2. Sledge down means they're going to have to look at different avenues instead of trying to put pressure from vertically above. Shade drops a cheeky little flash. Still that minute 10 on the clock, and Todd's made way down into dirt. Now, surely a proximity mine. Surely they're going to get some kind of intel. There you go, the barricade.
Wallbang is on the cards here if Todd can get the info, but he has to drone for himself. Hello there, Drex. Oh, bit gusto there, but Shade, fortunately, is supporting. That's the first pick for Bliss, but two players low HP. Repix has got to go massive here.
And he's in the perfect position, looks the wrong way. What a flick onto the head of Ghoul now. They control the back of Armory. They could well go in for the plan here. The flash to initiate the push as well. Todd goes deeper, but Leb taking down Repix. That's a huge pick. Todd's going to find another. Shade doesn't realize how close Leb actually is. And in a 1-on-2. Oh my God. Rhythm. They just narrowly make it out of that one alive, and they send us to OT.
Rhythm certainly are not going down without a fight. Bliss managed to bring it back from a 3v5, but at the end of the day, Supremacist, the greenest player in this game, the newest member of Rhythm, holds on in the 1v1. He has certainly proved that he was a worthy pickup. That's not where the bar stops for Rhythm. They've got to push harder. 2 Playdays in a row. They have copped overtime victories against some of the biggest teams OCN has to offer. Order 6-8 victory. Wildcard 8-7 victory. And now Bliss.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
where they seem to thrive. They come alive in OT. They've certainly come alive in OCN 2021. And when push comes to shove, This is where we end. This is where all of the efforts from today come to a close in, well, potentially the next 3, maybe even 2 rounds. Everything will be decided for Bliss or Rhythm.
5 seconds to go.
But the 1 point for that OT loss, it will surely mean they walk away with something rather than nothing.
And this does mean for Bliss that hope of taking that outright #1 spot in OCN. That dream is gone, or at least put on hold for now. As the maximum they can get out of this game is 2 points, which would put them on par with Elevate, also at 8. And I don't know who would win the tiebreaker there, but there's still a chance, right? I mean, I wouldn't say it's too bad for Bliss sitting at the top of the standings, even if that is a tied position. Just making short work of this wall over here at Jacuzzi. Thermite helping out for sure. I will say, curious decision from Rhythm. They decided to go for the gym defense instead of Church, despite just winning Church. But I guess, you know, the only one time they've played Gym so far, they won it. So that's an 100% win rate, whereas they played Church 3 times and only won it the once.
And the one time they won Church was, honestly, I think it was the cheek from Noveix that really set them up. With Nazgul going down early, you lose all of that vertical pressure. And you could see full well how much that really stunted them. They had to push in from dirt, funnel in through blue. Choke points are not fun to try and fight out of. At least they had a smoke and a flash in hand to make it work. This time, they've got all 5 alive. And they've done a decent job at opening up not only Cash, CC as well. And now they can start to put pressure on Con and open things up a little more.
As Claymore, Rhythm a little bit too over-eager in their flanks in the late round. That may catch him off. And Bliss have made great progress. Drex, what is this? He's waiting for Naz to sledge that open. He actually had the shotgun out, just anticipating that. Now taking refuge behind the weights. Flash coming through. Nazgul, what's he looking for here? Oh! Drex looking to make this peak with the shotgun, but such a difficult position to be in. Nazgul narrowly holding that angle, and he finds the lead-off kill.
That's the one that we're after. That's the linchpin right there. The bomb chassis just manages to save the life there of whoever that was on site. Supremacist is locked away in logistics here, and boom, it goes. The trades is what's needed, and it is just a 1-for-1. Repix now goes a bit deeper. Dev, this is it. They need to push in here.
15 seconds left.
Holding the line. The plant going down. Supremacist shut down. Shade holds down. And it's a retake on Faleb and Ghoul. 2 versus 3. Desperately trying to find the locations of these players. There's one. Todd aware. Lamp finds the spray. Lands that headshot. Ghoul to support. But where are these last 2 players? There's one downstairs. And Repix holding on, sees the both! Bliss, match point once again.
Wow, a valiant effort from Rhythm on the retake, but it's not enough. Repix is given a moment of luck, a glimmer of hope, and takes it and snatches it away from Rhythm. But overall, they made excellent time there. Bliss had really done everything they needed to in terms of that kennel side push in the latter parts, or rather the earlier parts of that round, and then it just came to the openings that they needed. Still, the castle on the shoddy up close is, well, it's a decision, and decisions are meant to be made, and it's certainly, maybe if it comes off, you're laughing. Now, this is a Rhythm tactical pause. So soaking in every last second here and just trying to figure out the best point of attack.
We've seen how impactful these tactical pauses can be for these teams, and I will say we are blessed to be able to have that in online matches now. I really love it. I really love the fact that it allows coaches to have some input, and it allows teams to really just add an extra element of strategic depth into their gameplay, take a second to chill out and talk about things, break that momentum, and bring things back to their side. Now, Rhythm, they have already achieved massive things this season and a massive improvement over last season, where not only were they relegated, but also they only managed to get one win across the entire season long out of 7 games. They've already beaten that record this time around with 2 overtime victories over Wildcard and Order, but it's not just Rhythm who've taken some big teams all the way through. Bliss took that 8-6 over Order just yesterday and also stole a point off of Elevate in their overtime loss game against them last week. Bliss once again have everything laid out before them, everything within their grasp. First place on the standings. And at this minute, Rob, I gotta say, I just can't call it either way. It's so hard to split these two teams, even though Bliss have historically had the head-to-head. Even sitting here at 6-7 match point for Bliss, I can't tell you with confidence that Rhythm isn't gonna come back here.
I can. Rhythm isn't gonna come back here. That's my input of the day. That's my input of the day. But hang on, is the caster curse because it was a little bit sarcastic? Is it? See, so now are they going to?
Mate, it is too late at night for me to comprehend this.
This is the big 5
donkey logic from Rob.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time, so you know that's okay. I'll take that donkey logic any day of the week. Jeez, that was a weird thing to say. I've never had to say those 2 words together before, but let's focus in a little more, as this basement defense will be everything for Bliss. At the end of the day, they need every last point they can get now. Oh, Shade. I was really hoping he was going to stay there for a little while longer. Not to be.
Only 5 drones left for Rhythm. 1 in the pocket, 4 in the field. Bliss have done the groundwork here for a good round. It's holding on, delaying time and delaying drones. Now Rhythm, they're the ones who need to step up. Starting by opening up these hatches and getting to work in the vertical game. Leb needs to make sure that he can flush out any players in Arsenal. Oda has been a hindrance. Shade as well. How many C4s have we got on the table? 3. 1 in the hand at the moment. Pre-ripped. I believe that's for Oda. Just waiting for that player to come within his grasp. This could be it. The C4 goes out. Or does it? I can't tell. There it is. Shade nails it onto Leb. And that's the sledge off the cards.
The good thing is, and the small little hint of belief for Rhythm here, is he'd already opened up a lot of the lines that he'd be looking for. Maybe 1 or 2 missing, but they're going to be pretty happy with that. And Dev?
There's just no time. You look at the clock, 35 seconds left, and Rhythm, I just don't see them making this execute work. They've got to go massive, and they've got to step up right now.
Looks as though that is their full intention. Out come any kind of smokes. Oda doesn't hit anything. That's a big C4. See you later. That's the game done in the pocket. The premises can try, he might, but it is all done and dusted. Novayix is literally just standing between Bliss and once again, another W on the board. Dev, that is once again a huge performance. And they skyrocket up to equal first with Elevate.
That is Team Bliss with an unprecedented performance in OCN, taking down a hard-fought victory over Rhythm, and as you say, rocketing up those standings. An insane game and a true testament of persistence and stamina in this marathon that has been our final match of the night. But where does this leave our teams on the standings? We've talked a lot about it. We'll have to wait for the standings graphic after our interview to know for sure the full League Ops admin approved call. But man, one thing's for damn sure, and that is that Bliss have outdone themselves this season in OCN.
They certainly have, and you know, you could go on to play some pretty terrible Siege from here on out, and I think you've still built enough of a gap, enough of a legacy in stage 1 to hold true. I mean, I don't want to go ahead and say that this could almost be close to cementing their place in playoffs, but this will be very close to it. I don't know how much more it's going to take from them. It was a very long series from start to finish. We had, you know, issues left, right, and center, but in the end, Bliss have held strong and they hold their nerve, which I think is just the main thing to take away for this roster.
Certainly so much pressure on them, and they certainly stepped up when it mattered and held on for as long as they could. Great game from Rhythm overall though, but Bliss just have something else. They just have so much passion and fire, always holding on, and some massive performances. Rob, if there's anything I will say about this season and this year for Rainbow Six, it's that it has been such a showcase of individual raw skill and talent. I feel like the way Rainbow Six has evolved, it just lets players shine.
Yep, I would definitely lead into that as well. And I think that...
How does Leb and Repix have an 100% cost in a 14-round game?
Well, that's questions that we may get to have answered when we head to the interview with Bliss, because that's massive. Repix, a player that has literally just come into the scene now for Bliss and stood up to the mark. That is just unbelievable. And, you know, it just goes to show 3 players on over double digits there for Bliss. ANZ is continuing to surprise me throughout these play days for OCN.
Yeah. Truly a amazing performance from Bliss here, and you hark back into their whole season so far. LFO 7-5, Elevate 6-8, just barely losing in overtime, and then Order 8-6 last week, plus the 8-6 today against Rhythm. It's seriously adding up here for Bliss. They are a team to be feared. There are a couple of big hitters still, I think, yet to be played. For example, the big one would be the Knights. But I think Blitz have very much set themselves up for an incredibly strong season, a really good seed going into that gauntlet format playoffs, which is everything. And they're surely in it and showing it to these APAC South teams that they can fight with the big dogs.
They certainly can, and we got Oda waiting in the wings to come and join us here on the desk. Oda, it's been a long night. I feel like I've only seen your face less than 24 hours ago now. It's good to see you once more. Let me ask you right off the bat, this is obviously, you know, again, another impressive win for you guys, but what's it like coming off the back of a technical difficulty, if you will, and having to remain strong for the last 4 rounds?
Yeah, look, the break definitely, like, I don't know, set you back a bit, you know, like, we were running, like, rounds back-to-back, well, not really back-to-back, just, like, ones-on-ones, and we're just, like, trying to get the mental strong, and, you know, with the, you know, the big, like, rehost there, and it just slows you down a lot, and you're just, you know, talking to your team saying, all right, when we get back into it, this is what's going to happen. You know, we looked like at our mistakes in the rounds that we lost, like the CC, we adapted to how we cleared catwalk and stuff, so we just talked about that, and then we just, like, done it in game, got through the round.
Certainly an amazing show from you guys. But coming into it, it started off, I know you have a bit of a friendly rivalry with Supremacists. I really enjoyed seeing that come to fruition. But also coming in, Ash and Mute bans. Now, this isn't also the first time you've done a Mute ban. It's your 3rd one in OCN. Talk me through these bans, because that's kind of strange.
So the Ash ban was pretty much, you know, it was for Supremacists, you know. We know he likes to play the Ash a lot. It's a comfort pick, you know. He's new to the scene and all that, so we're like, you know, let's take him off his comfort pick. Let's see if he still got it. You know, he actually played well tonight. He still dropped double. So that was our thought on the Ash ban. The Mute ban is just so you know, just for our clears and that, you know, we can get intel with our drones, and we can just clear faster. We don't have to waste much time.
Now, the last 3 games you have coming up, you've got Rafflecopter, Wildcard, and Knights. Regardless of Wildcard's form right now, those are going to be some pretty hard games to take away points on. How are you feeling coming into the back end of the last 3 Playdays? You know, you guys are equal first right now with Elevate, which is just insane.
Yeah, look, not too worried about Rafflecopter. You know, we've versed them in the past, and you know, we've won every time. But you know, Wildcard, we're not you know, we're not looking past them. You know, they're still a strong team, so we're still gonna have to bring it to them. And Knights as well. You know, they're still strong, even with like their standings right now. You know, we know they're a strong team. We have to bring it to them. Yeah,
for sure. Well, Oda, it's been a pleasure to have you on, mate. It's good to see another win on the board for you boys, and congratulations on your Drawn's first place.
Yeah, it feels good. Thanks, please.
Ciao, mate. Excellent work. So with that, I mean, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but you know, that propels them even further forward in the standings. These guys have put on an incredible performance. You know, the only game so far that they've really let slip is that matchup against Elevate, and that was a 6-8
by 2 rounds.
loss. Yeah, so it's just absolutely insane. But let's have a quick look at the recap and get into the nitty-gritty of it all from today. A couple of close matches. Well, a couple. In fact, there's only one game that didn't see out the full 12 rounds in regulation, and that went to 11 rounds. So hence the late night.
Yeah, certainly was. A lot of things we learned tonight, I think, Rob. We learned that Wildcard is not, you know, not out of the game. And we also learned that, and maybe I was overhyping Rafflecopter, but that's their second L in 2 nights. And as for the Order Knights game, I think that is also a big deal, the fact that Order won that, because we've all season long been saying Knights is #1, and the standings certainly show anything but that. Also, LFO Elevate, despite Elevate being the #1 team at the moment in the standings, LFO has shown that they are definitely the kryptonite, and that's just a trend continuing. And then Bliss over Rhythm is just further cementing that Bliss is not a team to be trifled with this season, and definitely a contender for that #1 spot.
And before we have a look at the shake-up of the standings, let's have a look at the shake-up of the predictions.
Oh, no.
This is going to be woeful. Okay, so let's see how many... Oh, God, that Elevate game. That's a feels bad,
I should have guessed LFO!
Mate,
I should have.
I'm telling you, I have a big 5 head when it comes to the Order matchup, but definitely we all let... I mean... We all but Xenox let slip that wild card matchup. How does he go 0-4 in the first play day and somehow bring it back? How is that possible?
How is he beating me right now?
Oh man, that is just... Wait, what?
I can't believe he called in sick today, and I had to deal with this all night, and then he just steals away the predictions as well. I'm absolutely gutted.
You're dead set last, mate. How does it feel?
You got to smile through the pain. That's what I'm going to say.
Surely we need to have a wooden spoon for this. Surely there's got to be some kind of punishment for this woeful prediction.
I've just moved into a new apartment, so I actually wouldn't mind a wooden spoon. Could be quite useful.
To go along with like your one stool over in the corner with like the dining table. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that completely. Look, man, it's been a long night. And there's no getting around that. But I think at the end of the day, we'd be pretty happy with how most of these matches have gone. And I think in particular, I'm trying to think which one. I mean, I'm going to let you go for which one you thought was probably the closest. But I really enjoyed that LFO and Elevate game.
Yeah, that was the least close game on paper, but. Yeah, definitely a good upset. I think that it goes to show that once you do a little bit more research, and like, you know, once I talk to Digital, because obviously I made my predictions before doing a lot of my research for this game, because I did that this afternoon, predicted a while ago. And once I did my research, you could see that LFO do have a leg up over Elevate just as a head-to-head. Statistically, they always tend to beat them. Digital had admitted that LFO was a bit of a bogeyman, but to me, in a way, like, one of the most exciting things that we saw out of today was that wildcard game. You know, I've been a big fan of wildcard since the beginning. You know, I've seen them play it, you know, SI and Tokoname in the past, but getting them and them stepping up and showing that they could take down Rafflecopter, that is massive. That is super exciting for any wildcard fans out there, because it goes to show that they haven't just gone from being the very top to the very bottom overnight. They are here and really, you know, hoping to... I'm sorry, who's on the ticket tonight? Imagine being last... No, I'm out.
Well, while we're there, let's have a look at our MVP of the night. It's Jigsaw, well deserved as well. I don't really know how we can even go about this. An absurd 4 KD. Oh, see you, Dev. Bye-bye. See you, Dev. No worries. Don't even bother coming back. You're not even welcome. And nor were Elevate in the server against Jigsaw. He had 20 kills to his name. And the highlights will just show how insane this man was.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, look, copping a 20 bomb in one of your first ever games in Tier 1. Nothing to be scoffed at, especially when it's an upset over the #1 team in the standings. There was absolutely no question Jigsaw was the MVP for today.
Just, oh, look at him. Oh, I had so much fun watching this guy play. I'm not going to lie. You know, one of the key points as well, he had 5 kills in the last 2 rounds to secure LFO the victory. Like that, you know, that in itself is just absolutely monstrous. And I think that when we look back at that game, not only was he consistent throughout, but when you step up toward the end, that's where it counts. And where it counts right now is on the standings. Let's have a look. Let's go to the ladder and see where all these teams end up. Bliss are only narrowly behind Elevate on 8 points each. And LFO, they take the 3 points away from today. That is the key factor here.
It is massive, not only for them, they're suddenly within arm's reach of Rhythm, Ruffle, and Knights. If they can, you know, cop 3 points next play, they will jump over all of those teams. But not only is that LFO result really impactful for them, getting them back in the game, but it's also impactful for Elevate, who otherwise, you know, they would be on 11. They would be running away with OCN right now had they defeated the bogeymen of LFO. But that #1 versus, you know, #8 match turned out to be a massive upset. Now, Bliss in second place. Not quite as high as Elevate just yet, and then a big close tie and third and fourth for Order and Wildcard. The big surprise still is Knights in 5th place. They were the favorites going into this season, and they haven't quite completed that. They definitely still need to prove it, but they're certainly running out of matches to do so.
That's it. There's only 3 play days left for all these teams. That's 3 matches. Let's have a look at what the next play day has to offer. That right there, this will come down to it, I think. You know, Playday 5 is really the tipping point, and with how close all the teams are right now, there's 5 points between bottom place and top and the first position. So it is really just coming down to, you know, are you on the which side of the fence are you on? Are you on the 2 wins, or are you on the 2 draws that you won? You know, like, it's small things that are going to make the difference.
Yeah, and look, after next Playday, Bliss is going to be the #1 team in OCN. You know, Blitz is going to win 7-4, 7-5 against Ruffle. Elevate's going to win 8-6 against Rhythm. That puts Bliss above Elevate. And then Order's going to win 7-4 against LFO. And then Wildcard and Knights, I'm going to flip a coin and make my prediction based on that. So Bliss is going to be #1 in OCN end of next Playday. I'm calling it.
I'll be honest, the wildcard PK game to finish up on will be incredible to watch, because, I mean, well, wildcard coming into this now are looking as dangerous as ever. You know, today showed that. And a game like that against Knights, they are going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a tight game. I've definitely had my doubts against Wildcard. There was a point where I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have won a whole game this whole season, but they've certainly proven now against both LFO and Rufflecopter that they're here to stay, and I'm really excited for that. It was really great to talk to Vinny earlier today, and he was confident. He said, look, we're not what we were necessarily, but we started to see them embrace a bit of a more aggressive, a bit of more loose play style. And Vinny had a lot of good things to say about all his teammates, including Silex, which is just really heartwarming. And I definitely think Wildcard is back in it. And with how Knights have been playing, I totally think that's a winnable game for WC.
There are so many storylines yet to unfold, but for now, ladies and gentlemen, that is Playday number 4 in the book. We'd like to thank you very much for sticking around and checking this out, but until next time, good luck, have fun.
Attackers have recovered their...
I'm reloading!
Defenders have eyes on the user. Attackers need to stop. Attackers drop the bomb. 10 seconds to go. Bomb located by attackers. 5 seconds to go. Attackers bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Changing mags!
Attackers bomb diffuser has been dropped. 15 seconds to go. Attackers
I'm running out of time. I'm running out on a feeling so. I'm running out of time. To leave it all behind. Let me see the rainbow.